Alright, basically a response video, another one to Fake Sagan on this channel. I'll try posting as a response to his video, see if he accepts it, but anyway, doesn't really matter. Sloppy video, sorry. Busy. Anyway, he's pushing this idea, just to get you caught up, that violent revolution is like sort of the only way out. It's either slavery or violent revolution. And he doesn't pay much attention to past revolutions involving nonviolence. Martin Luther King and Indira Gandhi and those kind of people, fuck them, didn't really exist. So whatever. It's there are ways definitely to have revolution. If you have the masses behind you, you really don't need violence. That's the trick. And but he figures, I guess, that we're never going to have the masses, so they have to have a revolution, and they'll decide when it's time, apparently. But whatever, let's go to the video.
People suddenly had a shift in their thinking, and they said, well, fuck, I could die tomorrow. I could be walking down the street and be killed for no reason. What do I have to lose? I might as well fight. What are they going to do to me now? I might as well just fight back, because there's no point. But,
Alright, well anyway, yeah, it took you forever to get to a point. So you do an example of where people are basically faced with desperation. I mean, where, the odds are they're going to be killed or consumed by the system, and therefore they might as well fight the system because they have nothing to lose. We're only about 10,000 miles from there. I mean, realistically, come on. What's the number statistically? I mean, more people are dying choking on Big Macs than dying because of government abuse. So, that argument doesn't go anywhere. You can keep using words like fascist state and that crap, but we really aren't there yet. It's not that horrible yet.
So let me try typing it in all caps. The idea of armed revolution does not appeal to me. I'll be the first to die, and I realize that. And I don't want to die because it took me 30 years to find the only person I can love completely, and I don't want to lose her.
Oh,
However, and
please.
This is where you and I differ.
Stay off when I turn you off, you fucker. Well, really, could you keep the personal crap out of it? I mean, does everything come down to what you love? Is that how you make calculations for the dynamics that will control the future? It's all based on what Fake Sagan loves. I mean, come on, you really got to be more of a philosophical animal than that. I mean, you kind of come up with better logic than, yes, I doomed the future to chaos because I loved someone. I mean, fuck that bullshit. Come up with a better argument than that.
This is where I'm going to lose you. I'd rather the both of us dead than slaves, because I think slavery is worse than death.
Yeah, well, look, I would probably, most people are going to agree with that. I mean, most people. I mean, obviously, when you are caught up in it and you really don't have an option, you'll hang in there for a while figuring that someday the slaves will organize and they'll figure out how to get the hell out of their slavery. I mean, obviously people have put up with all kinds of doom scenarios, concentration camps, whatever, living on hope that something was going to improve or somebody would come and rescue them or there'd be something coming, and so they didn't do anything proactive. So those are the two scenarios. So yes, you can choose to do something desperate, but just call it what it is, desperate. Desperation's usually stupideration. Okay, that's usually not the answer, is to act out of desperation. The answer is to plan and be methodical and careful and thoughtful, and find an answer that gives you the high probability of success. And success has got to be more than, well, I'm not a slave, I'm not living in a better world. That's not an improvement. I mean, being a slave to a system and being a slave to chaos isn't much of an isn't any of improvement. It's worse. You can fix a system. Chaos, well, then it's really tough. It's really tough to come back from chaos. You go back to chaos, then it's really hard to rebuild anything.
Take to push you over the edge. Your home taken, your kids in jail. Every man has a breaking point. Now,
yeah, but again, if there's no focus to the rage, then what the fuck good is it? It doesn't do me or the world any good for me to shoot a cop. What the hell does that accomplish? You know, there's no victory in, as I stated, creating a mess, making things worse. That's not victory. Making things worse is not victory. So unless you have some plan to protect against making things worse, you probably shouldn't act.
Percent of the population of the world and 25% of the world's prisoners, and 70% of those prisoners look more like you than they look like me. The only reason I'm saying this is I'm not trying to be racist. I'm just saying when the fascist police state that I see on the horizon kicks it.
Yeah, well, look, it's a bad example because we know why they're in prison. They are criminals, okay? And there's a whole complex reason, socially, economically, that they have the choice to be, you know, a criminal or a slave. All right, they're facing real slavery. They're facing $5 an hour wages and that kind of crap. So obviously, crime is going to seem like an answer. They also, you know, look, a lot of this is their own fault. I mean, people invest in silly stuff. They buy lottery tickets. You know, they spend their time on a basketball court instead of in a school. They trash schools. I mean, come on. There's lots of symptoms of poverty that are a big problem. And, you know, it's not a race issue, and you know it. You know it's a poverty issue. The statistics would be the same. They'd be just as the numbers would be just as big if more white people face the same kind of segregation in horrible conditions, and if white people face the same lack of inherited or legacy wealth, which is another argument I've made. A lot of white people are protected from, you know, they have the safety net of a legacy. Black culture didn't. And it's got to be cut a break for that. And so there's just no point in bringing it up like it's all about race. It's not all about race. I mean, race plays a part in it, no doubt, but it's not all about race. And some of that, in time, will be fixed. More black judges will help.
In the full swing, they're going to come for you before they come for me. And I see this as an inevitability. I think fascism is rolling down the pike slowly and steadily, and there's just...
Yeah, well, whatever. Your own rhetoric would make you a pretty good target, so you can say they'd come for him first, but I think they're going to be coming for you pretty quick. You've made a video outlining that you're willing to violently revolt against the United States of America. So I think you've made yourself a bit of a target, if this fascist state exists, which I don't think it exists. What exists is we have a democratic process that is imperfect, that can be improved. We can have greater representation in legislative bodies. We can have a better argument over these policies. But you've got to concede that there's a substantial American population that likes fascism, as you call it. They like the government the way it is. They like everyone for himself. They like living on legacy wealth. So face that fact.
I say that there is no real solution. Liberty has a shelf life, and you have to shake things up every few hundred years to keep oppression in check. This is something I want to...
Yeah, well, whatever. I'll let you make your peace, but whatever. It's just so silly, this argument. Let's look through history. Oh, yeah, we have to do this every 43 years. We have to do this every 100 years. We have to do this every 300 years. That crap just doesn't float. The world changes with time. It goes on. It's a progressive, linear scale. It's not a circular scale. It is a linear scale. Technology makes real changes to the world. The invention of the fertilizer bomb changed the world. The invention of the airliner to knock down buildings changed the world. Okay, these things don't mean you can just play the same game over and over again, but you can't. The game changes because the weapons change, the power structure changes, the mechanisms change. The video camera is changing the world. Okay, it does impose some accountability. It does make the system less capable of committing abuses. You've got to concede that fact. These things do change the world. All right, events change the world. The world doesn't stay the fucking same.